CC. As mentioned, we're looking for more appeal. CC makes sense. KGE, they lock in for themselves a Yves. They're trying to determine a kill box here with a Boxy, a 2.
Wow, okay. KGE, yeah, like you mentioned, Gideon, this is a kill box. They want to control the fight. They want to be the one setting the tempo every time they go for an engagement and just disable Homeboys from being able to take fights on their own terms. Eve so far hasn't had the highest success rate, but it sets up very nicely for when KGE wants to go for these all-in 5v5s. Homeboys, I really hope they'll have more solutions for this right now because I don't feel like the Loi is going to be enough.
Edith.
Yeah, I think Edith is too bad. At the same time, I feel like Homeboys might be in a situation where they might set up an Angela, but knowing Zorn, he doesn't lean on those kind of Enchanters playstyles, right? We've seen a lot of teams kind of prioritize that Angela with CC to a certain degree, but no, they bring in the Carmilla. This is good. This is actually huge because I think a lot of us were wondering, like, when do we bring in the Carmilla? But I've played a lot of chips, and I feel like the biggest threat I've ever encountered is like if I get full comboed by a Carmilla out, I just get completely destroyed.
All right, our draft is concluded here. Thank you very much, Trex. We'll catch up with you once the game is over to find out exactly how the results have concluded. But I think we are in for a very interesting game one. Gideon, final thoughts about the lineups?
Final thoughts about the lineups. I think this is a hard to execute comp for the side of the Homeboys, but you gotta have some faith. One Cursed Blood could be all the difference here. With a real world manipulation as going to be the big signal for KGE to fight, it's the same bat signal for the Homeboys to drop down the Cursed Blood.
Well, seeing that this is going to be an intense match here, the battle of the Kage, one team will be eliminated. And as we are heading to the Land of Dawn to decide the first match between this match, it is going to be King Empire versus Homeboys, game number 1.
Homeboys are defending champions looking to keep their lives in this playoffs intact. While King Empire, they've already shown us very impressive things so far. They don't want their journey to end here either. This early game gonna be a big determining factor for both these teams.
Looks like Chibi doesn't lose his... well, wait, actually, he retributed really early on here. I'm not sure if Vitter actually spotted that out. If not, he probably would have played a little more aggressively. But regardless, we want to see where KGE is going to attack the map. That's what I'm curious about, right? They're not like SRG where they find very small advantages in lane and pivot all the way across. KGE really takes their time with this.
Well, as of yet, Vader is trying to get a little bit of harassment in. Zorn is there to provide a little bit of assistance. He's going to try and stall him here. I was expecting a rotation coming from Udil, but seems like Vader taking a little bit too much. Dato actually getting zoned off by Udil. So this is actually the reason why King Empire not going to be able to actually go in for the aggression this time.
It's really difficult to lane against a Loi, and Eve generally not going to be too useful before that level 4 mark as well. So Deto already being put slightly on the back foot here, and that's actually going to affect King Empire somewhat. Usually when you are on the box, yeah, you want to be as active as possible, and that means having mid lane control, which King Empire currently does not have.
I mean, this is just goes to show how important these roamers are to the mid laners, right? Because they're the only people who can kind of break that stalemate. Unfortunately for Deto, Zorn was kind of hovering around that mid lane pretty often to allow Udil to get that initial trade, and from then on, Deto, it's very difficult for him to walk past the minion wave because that means he has to take a proactive trade, and at any time, Zorn can just poke his head out and then send him down to 0 health.
Oh my goodness, it was a bait here. Udil with a big slap here. Smooth and Dato are out of the equation here. They hit the level 4 first. Now, first turtle going to be in control. Homeboys, meanwhile, bottom lane, 1v1 Sasa. Okay, he's diving forward. He forces a flicker. Ned's going to be able to do the reset here, but the turtle fight here is still continuing. Sapat is trying to zone off the rest members of King Empire. Real Bleach comes in. He catches Sapat right at the edge. The Vengeance not going to keep him alive. First blood in the hands of King Empire. Shortcut comes in as well. Chibi secures the turtle. He needs to get out. The Cyclone Eye will get him to safety, but first blood in the hands of King Empire.
Oh, that was a little nerve-wracking here because if Zorn just hit level 4 slightly earlier, that would have been so bad for KGE. They were so overextended.
I think it's precisely because of that timing that KGE decided to go for the dive, right? Realizing Curse of Blood not going to be there just yet. They gotta up the tempo before Zorn hits that level 4, and that's what they did. They didn't get the turtle, but getting a kill onto Sapat this early on is going to be very handy. We know that Yuzong wants to be unlocked from lane.
You know, it was a nice, very nice integration setup coming from Homeboys, right? Like, they were doing so much damage on towards both Dato as well as Smooth. And, like, it was a very, very good bait coming from Zorn, like, anticipating that there's only 3 guys, but turns out there was 4 coming from Homeboys. But it feels like something just went wrong in the turtle contest, because it feels like Sabat shouldn't be overcommitting that much to actually commit just for the first objective so far.
Honestly, I think it's the opposite. Wait, hold on.
Oh my goodness, Dato getting dive out of nowhere down middle lane. He was left all alone here. Seems like Homeboys has kind of figured out how King Empire is playing around his chips, and because of this, mid lane left completely unchecked.
I think this is very smart of the Homeboys, taking advantage of the weakest lane from King Empire, which is going to be that Eve diversion play.
Smooth, he needs to run for this as well, but the shotgun comes in, but they are collapsing on the tier 1. They anticipated this. Dato will fall, but so is the rest of Homeboys. GB is going to be the next to die as well. 3 down, and King Empire anticipated this. Homeboys gets completely shut down.
That was a crazy angle from Homeboys. What are they thinking? Like, I get the flank angle, but at the same time, why? Why would you be in that position? That's Flicker from Nets as well. It looks like Homeboys, after that play, they're losing on all fronts here. This should be King Empire's time to shine.
You normally expect, oh, diversion play, we're the ones in control, but they kind of forget the chip can go anywhere he wants as well. And that really messed with them because they were behind the enemy tier 2. Homeboy still not too far behind in terms of net worth. It's actually pretty even, so they'll continue by controlling the turtle pit.
Oh, Thirst Blood's already been expended. Chibi will secure the turtle here. Great timing coming from Homeboys, knowing that King Empire does not have those major ultimates, right? Vader, no ultimate. Real Illumination, not up at all for that turtle fight.
I think the Homeboys are looking to kind of get some resources back on the bottom side of the map, right? At this point, it's kind of unsavable for Sabat against Smooth. I would say that at the very least, Sabat is a level ahead, and here we go.
Oh, speaking of a level ahead, he is going to be a level behind now. Great gank here coming in from King Empire. They even use a shortcut and calling the rest of the teams here. Sasa now with a 1-kill level lead against Nets, and Homeboy seems to be panicking now as they don't really know what is the next game plan.
Yeah, these early game movements from King Empire just look so different from their gameplay during the regular season. Smooth though in trouble.
Oh no, he might be able to get out here. Black Dragon across the tower here. Do they continue with the chase? Unfortunate to say, no diversion being used, but bottom lane, surprise from behind. Nets getting ganked here. That's going to be another kill in the hands of the Kage Sasa.
Nets got to be careful. Without that flicker, he doesn't have the potential outplay of Lycan pouncing underneath the tier 1. And I think that's what he's been trying to do, but unfortunately, King Empire have blown his resources each and every time. The next time he walks back into lane, I don't know. It's not looking good. Topside, however.
Topside, Chibi has to run for this though. Beater trying to look for the gank here. His second skill wore off a little bit too soon, so Homeboys is going to be able to get out to safety, getting some value damage on the tier 1. However, tier 1 will fall for Homeboys on the bottom side instead.
This should be a lane swap, right?
Yeah, I do believe so as well, but it depends on whether or not they will choose to do so. Homeboys have done a good job so far of making sure they don't fall too behind, but it's clear that King Empire Esports are the ones in control of the tempo of the game. Peter just standing on his portal, waiting to see where he's needed on the map. This chip has been very effective for them so far in allowing them to just dictate movements across the map.
Now, speaking of dictating here, this second turtle, again, Chibi has been dominating all the turtles so far. Sorry, third turtle coming in here. We talked about, I think Trex didn't bring it up as well. It all comes down to third turtle, big clashes. And Sasa going to be joining as well, everyone as well. But still plays Vader from behind. He's going to find Nets here. He's going for a stun. Nets forced to flicker out as well. Black Dragon also expanded Nets. He's sidestepping his way through, but in real Revolution, finally catches him. Petrify, focusing him down. He's going to be the first to fall. They lose Smooth in the process, but Homeboys is still holding on. KGE, they're running out of steam, and they say, you know what, it's too much. We'll lose Smooth, get Nets, it's all good. But the divergent play says, you know what, you're not getting out of this. They find Sasa as well.
What a fast call coming in from Udil. As soon as you see Sasa show up in that mid lane, instantly he's got that diversion. He's calling the rest of the team to actually make this happen. King Empire, they They can't be caught slacking anymore.
Yeah, that was the tempo breaker that Homeboys have been looking for the entire time. Something to turn things around. They took advantage of King Empire, thinking that they had already won that last engagement, to let their guard down and catch them out where it hurt the most. And this is going to allow Homeboys to shift the net worth advantage in their favor.
This is starting to look like a more even game than anticipated. So far, the gold lead has been bouncing back and forth between KGE and as well as the Homeboys. Tier 1 trades, bot side for top side, and now it's going to come down to who gets this first Lord. And I think, unfortunately, right, the big deterrent for the side of the Homeboys is that Curse of Blood. Every time that portal comes down, like, keep your eyes on Zorn. He is waiting for people to walk out of that, and he's trying to time it right.
Yeah, and as soon as that happens as well, like if Chibi gets like a full man taunt or even Sabat as well get another link, right? Like everyone from King Empire is going to be clumped up and they are going to take a lot of CCs. But genuinely, I feel like Homeboys, they are relying on that Curse Blood into Udil's combo, right? Like, so if he hits one CC, everybody gets it. But because they're already in the yin-yang reactions, it multiplies tenfold, almostly, indefinitely here because everybody is going to be clumped up regardless.
It's a funny situation because both teams are kind of aiming for similar things. Teleport in, then catch the enemy team in like either the real world manipulation or the Curse of Blood. But here comes the fight.
Oh, Sujin getting peeled apart here. The real blue should kind of slow things down here. He will get out to safety. Smooth, force to throw his life to the back lines, but eventually they're still aiming on net.
Oh!
They lose Peter, but eventually Sasa gets the kill, but he's in trouble himself here. The taunt comes in. Homeboys is going to be able to pick them all apart, and Dato a little bit late to respond. This Udil managing to stop him in track. They lose 3-1.
That was a wild attempt. That was a wild attempt from Sasa trying to go for the super play here. I would like to see his items just to have a confirmation whether he's already finished the Trinity build, which he's been very much leaning into compared to the Executioner's build. But at this point of time, we're seeing Nets with a very early Winds of Nature and a Lord behind them. Like Homeboys, they're set up for greatness.
And that Wind of Nature can be crucial for Nets because it not only allows him to escape from Sasa, it allows him to deal with Smooth as well. And the longer this game goes, the more it's going to favor the Homeboys because with the carry and the CC, they're going to scale better into the late game phase as compared to King Empire. So if KGE want to keep themselves in this game, they need to make sure that this gold lead doesn't grow any larger.
Well, speaking of gold lanes here, because now Homeboy is going to be crashing from the top side, and Nets has been heavily focused here, but somehow they just can't clean it up quickly. But Sasa might be in a little trouble here. He's taking a bit too much damage. Somebody's able to run him down on the turret. No backup whatsoever. Homeboys finds an opening, and it might be a potential GG push. It's endable now. 20 seconds on the sidelines, and Homeboys looking to try to make a play. How would they do this, though?
I don't think it's a GG push, but there's definitely a chance of Homeboys actually achieving an inhibitor. I think that would be the worst case scenario for KGE. Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness. A Curse Blast combo! Alongside with the Divergent play. Ooh, Dill with the yin-yang reactions just completely shutting him down. Dato will fall, and 20 seconds on the sidelines. This inhibitor is going to be falling in the hands of Nets. So can be set for the middle turret as well. Another wave is going to be coming from the bottom side, but Homeboys are not backing out yet. Peter, where is Peter? He's still looking for the flanks. They can't seem to find him as well. They're all under turret. This inhibitor down mid is gone. Smooth might be dead as well with the appraisals wrap from GB. Homeboys, they're cleaning up this game. Peter drops the shotgun, but it's too late. It is endable for Homeboys. They take game 1 against KGE.
Talk about putting pedal to the metal. Homeboys realized that this was their power spike. This was their strike timing, like what Trex mentioned before the game. And they did not allow KGE to get a single foothold back once they had